All right, so the next step to the finger switching exercise, as I mentioned, is to develop independence of articulation. What does that mean? Well, that means that the fingers that are switching, you want to develop the ability to articulate those very quickly and short. And so when I mean quick, I mean speed can be part of it, of course, but speed isn't necessarily the goal of this exercise. The goal of this exercise is to create a clean contrast in articulation. So let me demonstrate briefly what I mean. So we have, now that you have some experience with the finger switching aspect of it and you've developed that coordination, now if we were going to switch 1 and 2, for example, we can focus on the fingers that are switching being very short. So now we have this. So if there's an element of speed in this exercise, that's what it entails. Basically, you want to imagine like the strings are really hot, like a hot stove. You're just touching it very quickly to check to see if the stove is super hot. So that's kind of the feel. Sometimes people call this the bounce technique. And what's very important about this is that you still keep it nice and not strained. Your fingers are nice and relaxed, and they don't even necessarily need to leave the strings. So you don't need to pop off fly away from the fretboard. In fact, don't do that. Just release the pressure in the first and middle fingers. So it's just like this. So it's on when you pluck it, and then just simple release the pressure. So in this case, my fingers aren't even leaving the strings really. They're still touching the strings. But yet I can create this very quick on-off staccato, short and snappy articulation or sound to this exercise. Now notice when I do this, the other 2 notes, which are the 3rd and 4th fingers, those are staying down and those are ringing out. So that would be a legato. So now we've built up this contrast in sound. So we've got the finger coordination, but more importantly, 2 of the notes are very short and 2 of the notes are held down. And this is just an exercise that you can kind of literally just it's a brainless exercise. Like you could watch some TV or something and just do this for a while. Don't do it too much. Don't do it obviously to the point where your fingers are cramping or you're hurting. Anytime that even starts to happen, take a break, stretch out, and come back to it later. But really focusing on that articulation. It's not really about going fast. I mean, if you'd like, you can practice this with a metronome, but I don't really think it matters. It's really just all about the articulation more than timing with this particular exercise. So if we move through the combinations, 1, 3 now. Now 1 and 3 are short. 1 and 4. Now notice when I move 1 and 4, for example, my hand is just very in a subtle way, just kind of shifting back and forth. And what that does is facilitate the movement across the strings, because with 1 and 4 switching, you're skipping across 2 strings. But again, the goal is to make those the exchanged notes short as possible while the other 2 notes are held down. 2 and 3. 2 and 4. And then finally 3 and 4. And then go back to 1 and 2 and repeat through that cycle. So what I would recommend you do is once you have the coordination down so that you can exchange the pairs of fingers all without stopping in very slow, then just maybe work through it in rhythm, in the sense of maybe playing each combination twice before switching, or 4 times if you need to. So I'll just demonstrate playing them twice. So we've got now 1 3, now 1 4, 2 3, 2 4, and then finally 3 4. not a very pleasant sounding exercise, but so if you need some alone space, you know, some alone time, this is guaranteed to drive anybody else out of the room. But it's a very good exercise in terms of developing both coordination among the four fingers of the fretting hand, and most importantly, developing that you know, the difference of articulation. Two notes are long and held down to the fretboard, and two notes are switching in a very short staccato way. So just practice this at your own leisure, but this is the kind of exercise that you can practice for many years to come, and it will always serve your ability to create multiple parts.